Happy Valley is one of the most desirable suburbs of the Portland metropolitan area. In this video, we'll give you a full tour, and stick around to the end. We'll give you a preview of our next neighborhood tour. It's a lot like Happy Valley, but with some distinct differences. All that starts now. Hey everyone, Seth Marchant with the Home Team Brokers here, coming to you today from Happy Valley. If you're new to this channel, living in Oregon, we show you what it's like to live in Oregon. In this video, we're going to give you a full vlog tour of Happy Valley, which is one of the top suburbs in the Portland metropolitan area. I know it probably looks pretty wooded. I'm at one of the many parks here in Happy Valley. That noise that you can hear, that's actually a waterfall. They don't all have waterfalls, but there's a ton of great parks here. They're all surrounded by houses. I'll show you that in just a second, but make sure and hit the subscribe button, tap the bell, make sure you get notified each time we drop a new video. There's that waterfall. We get people reaching out to us all the time that want to move to the Portland area, and we always appreciate hearing from you. So if you're one of those people, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, or click the link below to schedule a Zoom with us. So Happy Valley is in Clackamas County. It's about 15, maybe 30 minutes at the most, depending on what part of Happy Valley you're coming from, to downtown Portland. It's going to be sort of one of the southernmost, easternmost parts of the Portland metropolitan area. There's about 25,000 people here. It's mostly a kind of a new development area. A lot of the homes and commercial buildings here have been developed in the last few decades and are continuing to be developed. There's a lot of new homes going in right now and will be for the next few years at least. So if you're seeing this video and it's maybe 6 months or a year later after it was recorded, there are still most likely going to be homes that are still being built right in this area. There's one right there at the top of our path. This is Hidden Falls Park in Happy Valley. A lot of parks in Happy Valley like this. So as I huff and puff up the hill here. So this is kind of quintessential Happy Valley. A lot of wooded area, a lot of new construction, a lot of new homes, larger homes, 4 and 5 bedroom homes. Let me give you a little closer view here now as we walk up. Happy Valley is one of the more desirable parts of the Portland metropolitan area because you have a lot of new large homes with great schools, a lot of new commercial buildings, strip malls, great shopping. Pretty much all the kind of stores that you might possibly want are going to be in this area. And in this hyper-competitive real estate market where it's really tough to find housing, as I mentioned, there's a lot of new houses out here for sale, and they will be building here for quite a long time. So if you're looking for a newer house, especially a larger house, this is going to be a great spot for you. All right, let's go look at some of those houses, and I'll take you around town. All right, so this is just leaving Hidden Falls Nature Park to give you a little bit of an idea of what this neighborhood looks like on the ground. And in just a moment, we'll take you up in the air for more of a broader look so you can kind of get a feel of how these neighborhoods are kind of broken down. So this is headed towards Sunnyside Road. So now the park is kind of just behind us. If you look below, you'll kind of notice there's maybe like a playground, a basketball court down there. You'll find these kind of like green spaces and parks and all throughout these neighborhoods. You also find these walking paths. If you kind of see in the bottom, moving to the bottom left, that walking path right there, you'll find these paths that kind of weave in and out of these neighborhoods all throughout Happy Valley. That one actually goes, if you look, it'll go actually all the way up to Sunnyside, across Sunnyside, up that hill there, and that in that direction is a Scouters Mountain, which is another nature park. It's also another subdivision that's currently being developed that we'll go visit here a little bit later in this video. There's 2 high schools in the area. Clackamas High School, which is fairly new. It was built about 20 years ago. And then you've also got Adrian C. Nelson High School, which is brand new. It was built just about a year ago. And that high school was built to support all of this new growth that the east side of Happy Valley is seeing all these new homes that they're putting in here. So that's why you have 2 high schools built over the last 2 decades. Clackamas High School is very highly rated. This one is probably a little bit too new to be rated, but I'm sure it'll be great. Now we're at one of the strip malls, one of the handful of brand new strip malls that you'll find in Happy Valley. That kind of busy road that you see back behind there is Sunnyside Road that will get mentioned throughout this video. The intersection up above is 172nd. So this is kind of the easternmost part of Happy Valley. This is kind of the area where it's maybe like 30 minutes from Portland. If you look closely, you'll see there's a lot of very popular chain restaurants, and there's a lot of great kind of local mom and pop stuff too. This particular strip mall is connected to Fred Meyer. Fred Meyer is a very popular local Northwest grocery chain. This is probably the nicest Fred Meyer that I've seen. Obviously, it's brand new. That's probably part of the reason. But you're going to find a lot of these kind of brand new strip malls all up and down Sunnyside Road, all throughout Happy Valley. Probably one of the bigger pluses of this area. Next, we're going to go to Scouters Mountain, which is that big hill / mountain that you saw in the drone footage. And I'll take you to the new subdivision to see some of those homes that they're building, which is just below next. All right, so now here we are at Scouters Mountain. Scouters Mountain is it sits back up on a hill, kind of back behind that strip mall that we were just at with the Fred Meyers. You know, I gotta say, I grew up next door to this area, and I live close by. I don't live exactly in Happy Valley. I know the area very well because I've lived around this area my entire life. And every time I come out here, I just think this is definitely one of the nicest places in the whole entire Portland metropolitan area. You just have so many parks and trails, and it's just pristine, beautiful here. So many nice homes. You have all the shopping that you could possibly want. This is definitely one of the top spots in the Portland metropolitan area, in my opinion. You've got a lot of parks just like this where you'll find just a lot of trails where, I mean, it feels like we're out in the woods. It's very wooded out here too, as you'll probably see from the drone footage. So, you know, for you people that like to get out and have trails and go jogging and maybe not feel like you're in the suburbs or in a just really highly condensed area, this is probably a great spot for you. The one downside I would say about this area, very small downside, but there's only one real road that kind of takes you through Happy Valley, that's Sunnyside Road. And because there's only one road and because this area is growing so quickly, it can become very congested. Not a big deal, you know, but if that's the worst thing about this area, that you know, that's going to tell you a lot. And it's not terrible, but you know, that congestion, if you're commuting to like a downtown Portland, kind of like I mentioned earlier, your drive could be anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, kind of depending, and that really just depends on how far east you are on Sunnyside. If you're really far east, then that's going to put you more in like the 25-30 minute category. If you're farther west, closer to I-205, you can get to Portland in 15 minutes. Another point about Happy Valley too, if you are a mountain person, snowboarding, skiing, climbing, whatever it may be, this is going to be the closest suburb to Mount Hood. You may be hour and 15, hour and 30 minutes at the most, especially if there's no traffic. Some parts of Portland you could be more like 2.5 hours. Now I'm going to take you just below Scouters Mountain, which is that big hill that you see in the background here. I'm going to show you some of these neighborhoods, some of these new subdivisions. These homes are starting, the new ones are starting kind of around the low to the mid 7s. Incredibly enough, it was probably more like the low 6s, maybe even the high 5s not too long ago. The street you see to the left there, that's actually how you would get up to the top of Scouters Mountain. So home prices are quickly rising. Who knows where they'll be when you watch this. These homes are built by a handful of different builders. You've got Icon Construction, which is a local company. Holt Homes, also local. You've got the Toll Brothers, which brands themselves as America's luxury home builder. If you want to build something with your builder of choice, there are typically lots that you can find out here as well. aside from the new construction, a lot of these homes throughout Happy Valley were built in the 90s and the 2000s. Most of those are going to be further west, sort of at the beginning of Happy Valley, at the beginning of Sunnyside Road. And we're going to take you there next. But before we do, we're going to stop at a place that has been the talk of the town for a little while. Food carts. Food carts are very popular in Portland, and so a lot of the suburbs around Portland have been developing spaces to accommodate food carts, and Happy Valley recently put in a pretty nice space for food carts. It's also covered too. Here's what it looks like. You've got indoor seating and outdoor seating. Those bay doors open up. They're usually open on a nice day. And as you can kind of see, this is kind of unique. A lot of food carts throughout the Portland metropolitan area are just kind of open spaces where food carts can park. In this case, you've actually got a bar with a bunch of beers on tap. And as you might imagine, a lot of these brewers are local brewers. Breweries are very popular here in Portland. So in that sense, this food cart spot is pretty unique. Next, I'm going to take you over to the western side of Happy Valley, right where Sunnyside Road begins. And I call it the beginning sort of because this is where all of the traffic comes from. I mentioned that congestion. This is how everybody enters into Sunnyside. Now, you can come from the east, but there's not a lot of population to the east. There's a smaller town called Damascus just to the east of Sunnyside. So this is where everybody's coming in right here. And the highway that Sunnyside is going over is I-205. That will take you to the airport, take you to Portland, maybe about a 15-minute drive, something like that. To the right, too, is kind of kitty corner up to the right is Kaiser Permanente. So you've got a major hospital in this area as well. And as we kind of look to the north towards Portland, you're going to see Clackamas Town Center. This is the biggest mall. This is kind of like the mall for Clackamas County. Washington County has Washington Square Mall. Multnomah County, which is where downtown Portland is, has Pioneer Place. So this is the mall for all of Clackamas County. So this is where a lot of people come to, and part of what creates a lot of the congestion. But this is the big upside. You've probably got as good or really the best shopping of anywhere kind of in the Portland metropolitan area for people that live in Happy Valley. What you're seeing here is actually right across the street. This is Clackamas Promenade. This is more of a kind of like a strip mall. This has been here forever, and they're now renovating the Target. If you look closely, maybe you'll see some of your favorite stores. And you do also have a Costco, which kind of sits, you won't see it in this video, but it kind of sits right back behind the Clackamas Promenade. Another store of note that's always really popular around the Pacific Northwest is Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's is not in Happy Valley, but it's just a few minutes away in Milwaukee. All right, I hope that helps you to get a better feel for how Happy Valley is laid out, what it looks like, all that it has to offer, and what it's like to live there. If you have any questions about living in Happy Valley or the area or anything at all, you can comment below on this video, you can text us, you can call us, you can email us, however you want to get in touch. If you want to move to Happy Valley, we're here to help you. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I'm going to give you a little preview of one of our upcoming neighborhood tours. This next place is right next door for the most part. It's maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes from Happy Valley. It's about the same distance actually from Portland, anywhere from maybe 20 minutes to 25 minutes or so, depending on exactly where you're at. And the name of this area is West Lynn. The big difference, I would say, between West Lynn and Happy Valley is going to be what we've kind of covered a lot, which is the shopping. There's not nearly as much shopping in West Lynn. There's not nearly as many restaurants in West Lynn as there is Happy Valley. But the trade-off there is that it's really not very congested. In fact, it's got a little bit of a small town feel to it. And because there's not a lot of shopping, and if you look at it on a map, there's not a lot really to draw people there. And it's not really on the way or in the middle of many things. So for that reason, It's not very crowded in West Linn. You don't get a whole lot of congestion. In fact, it has kind of a small town feel to it. So if you're okay with having to travel a little bit for some of the better shopping, West Linn might be a good choice. And taking you through some of these neighborhoods, we just went through a neighborhood with some new construction. You won't find as much new construction in West Linn, at least right now. There is a lot of undeveloped land. West Linn is a little bit more rural. You can actually drive through some parts of West Linn where you'll see a lot of undeveloped land, farms, and again, you're maybe 20 minutes outside of Portland, so it's got a little bit of a different feel to it, but also a great area. Now make sure and subscribe so that you'll get updated when this video comes out. Again, any questions at all, if you're thinking about moving to the area, maybe you already live in the area and you're thinking about selling, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, or click the link below to schedule a Zoom. Typically best for people coming from out of town. No matter how you get in touch with us, we've got your back when it comes to moving to Portland. Take care, everyone.